Hi, my name is Laura Brassagini, and I've been involved with CF for over 20 years, and I have had the privilege with working with lots of homeschool families in clubs. They bring so much energy and lots of fun to the club, and the younger kids really love the teens. They connect with them, and they love seeing them each week. I really have enjoyed mentoring some of these teens. Some of them start off as sixth graders, and they may just feel comfortable handing out snack or doing the prize store, and they grow in their leadership, and pretty soon they're leading small groups. They might play the review game or help with worship, all the way up until when they're telling the Bible story and counseling kids for salvation. It really increases their heart for the lost, and it's amazing to see God working in their lives, growing them spiritually as they serve in this ministry. It really grows their leadership and their confidence. So I want to challenge you to pray about how you might be involved in reaching kids for Christ. Um, these kids that we work with, some of them, they don't have anybody that believes in them or gives them positive reinforcement. They're just looking for that love and acceptance. I had a kid in one of my clubs. She was a fifth grader. In the third week of club, she raised her hand and she said, "Who's this Jesus you keep talking about?" She didn't know anything about Jesus. She had never heard her name, and she'd never heard about his love for her. So you can really have a big impact in these kids' lives. So now I want you guys to hear from some of the teens. So here's Andrew.
Hello, my name is Andrew Garlick, and I grew up in a homeschool family with three brothers. And I started working with CEF in around 2015. I worked with them for about 4 years. When I first started with CEF, I was encouraged to take teaching children effectively and get involved in the Good News Club. And when I first started, I was a very shy and awkward 15-year-old. I did not like talking in front of people. I was really nervous around kids. Um, being having multiple brothers to several older, I didn't have to worry about doing anything in any social situation. I always could just rely on them. But through CEF, I started to learn a lot more confidence. It was a very encouraging environment. They helped me learn how to study Bible stories, present Bible stories, talk with kids, and build relationships with kids. And that's really helped my confidence and really helped me to the point where I can talk in front of people a lot more, and I'm doing it a lot more for my job and for my school. Um, CEF has also given me practical tools in learning how to take a story, takes information, and kind of break it down into simple words to make it easy to understand. And although that's used with kids a lot, sometimes it helps a lot in everyday life when you're trying to explain things to even adults, having that ability to break things down to their simple basics. But despite all the practical skills and stuff that you learned from CEF, by far the most rewarding thing was the experience I've had with the kids, because I've coming from kind of a homeschool bubble. I was not exposed to a lot of different families and struggles that people had, but through Good News Clubs and Child Event and Christian Youth in Action, I've met many kids from all sorts of different walks of life, and I've had the opportunity to talk to them about Jesus and help them understand what I believe. And through their questions and their desire to learn, it's helped me a lot in explaining my faith and what I believe. And so I encourage you, if you are thinking about doing CEF, that even if you're not the most outgoing or confident person, you might learn a lot more things than you'd think just by giving it a try. And I'll pass it off to Jenna for her to share her experience.
Okay, so I'm Jenna Curry. I have been involved with CEF for many years now. I started out with a Good News Club, and then I did Christian Youth in Action, and then I was involved with another Good News Club recently. Um, I was terrified to start teaching kids. I thought it was going to be so scary and so hard and just not my thing at all. And I was very wrong. So my first encouragement to you is, if you feel that way, if you're feeling scared about it or nervous, it's okay. It's normal. And I felt that way. But then because I took that jump, that leap of faith, if you might, it ended up to be such a rewarding thing and such a good thing. And I kind of fell in love with teaching kids. Yeah, it's scary at first. And I was definitely a shy person. I didn't have a lot of confidence when I started, but it's grown a lot. And I know that if you're thinking about it, I just encourage you to do it because you'll probably end up loving it just like I did. Another thing is kind of like Andrew said, the things that you learn while you're teaching kids with CEF, those stick with you. They don't just go away if you're not teaching kids. I've found myself constantly drawing on the principles that I've learned, whether I'm talking with people my own age or adults, it doesn't matter. The concepts might be simplified a little bit when you teach to kids, but they are from the Bible, they are true. It's God's word, so it's powerful no matter what. And so you can continue to use those throughout your life. You just learn so many valuable things when you start teaching. And it really increases your faith. You know, when you are able to share with others, it's such a rewarding thing. I think it's easy to think about sharing your faith with others as something that is only beneficial to them, but it's so beneficial to you. It gives you so much joy. And so don't let your fears stop you from doing anything, because those are not from God. He wants you to just live life to the fullest and have that joy that comes with it. So I encourage you to step out there, put yourself out there, and just go for it.
All right, great job, guys. My name is Jody Squire, and I have 6 kids who have all been part of a Good News Club at some point or another. Like, I still have one that's actually just a clubber in it because he's not old enough to be a leader yet. So it has really benefited our family. In fact, I want to just say that I have seen God's faithfulness to our family in so many ways on a continual basis. By the people that he provides for us and the activities that he brings into our lives. And so being part of a Good News Club has been one of those activities that he's really just grown our family and provided for what we needed at the time. It is so there's so many benefits to doing this as a homeschool family. First of all, you can do it with multiple ages. So I'm hopping in the car with however many kids happen to be working with it that year, and I'm taking them all to the same direction. So I'm not running a bunch of kids to different directions to go serve, but we're all serving together in the way that we're able to serve. So like Laura was saying, some of the older kids might be teaching a story that day or leading songs, whereas my very youngest ones are probably part of the club. And then my middle ones might be handing out snacks or leading a verse, different levels of ability. And so they're growing in their confidence while they're doing their various jobs. And then they watch the others doing it, and they're able to then grow in their abilities in following years, or even say the next semester when we've been working with it. One thing about serving, it's a great place to serve because multiple ages can serve together, and serving others really takes our eyes off of ourselves and puts our eyes on Jesus and on others, and it helps us to have more joy because, when you're focused on yourself, it's just kind of sad, and you just start feeling sorry for yourself. So anyway, it helps us be more joyful. Also, another way that it's really helped us is we have grown in thankfulness because we're hearing the stories of the kids that we're working with, and our particular Good News Club happens to be a lower income neighborhood. So we hear their stories, and it's hard, and they have parents that are out of their lives. They're living with foster parents or grandparents or whoever, and they just have difficult lives. They go home alone at night sometimes, and my kids have really just become more thankful for what they have at their house, and not feeling sorry for them in that area. Also, every week we get to hear the gospel preached, whether we're the ones preaching it through the stories or whether we're the ones hearing it as a clubber or as a sibling. And it's good for us. They say that you should preach the gospel to yourself every day. And this is one day a week that we're getting it preached in another area. So I've appreciated that. My kids have grown so much in their abilities because there's like the storytelling opportunities, leading songs, leading games, being creative, learning how to interact with kids. When I grew up, I got spanked. I was okay for my teachers to spank me, and I did get spanked by my teacher one time. And you can't do that here. So you have to come up with other creative ways to get around difficult children and be able to work with them. And so it's good for my kids to learn things like that. So I have a whole list more of benefits, but it's time to wrap it up. So I just want to say, like, you will gain a lot. You should consider it. And
Thanks.
that's it. Should I say
Thanks,
bye?
you guys. So if you want to be involved, you can talk with your area director, or you can just send an email to coloradocf.org. That's their website, and there's a contact button on there. And we would love to provide some training and talk to you about some ways your family might be involved in CF. It's awesome.